I was showing up every single day, training, trying to eat cleaner, trying to work on whatever project that were meaningful to me, and yet no one seemed to notice. No one seemed to clap for me. I didn't get that appreciation I might have wanted for doing so. And I think at this point, self improvement has really been quite glorified. And I'm glad at least it's talked a bit more, but people don't really talk about the sort of quiet struggle of self improvement, where when we're working on things that we believe is going to get us to where we want to be, it's a very lonely period, even if you have tons of people around you, because you're the one that has to put in the work, you're the one that has to turn up, even if other people don't know. And this was a really sort of big problem for me because I know when I used to be in uni and I basically quit after the I think like a year like well sorry half a year into the first year of uni to basically go all in on copywriting and basically putting together a business. And at the time, I mean, I lived with a few people, right, in just sort of a flat space, but it was pretty lonely, right? It's pretty lonely. And obviously, I was still living in halls for that first year, and no one really in university is doing any form of self improvement, really, because obviously most of those people are just focusing on having fun. And even in the sort of the year after that, I didn't really speak to many people, right? Because I felt that not many people really aligned with the sort of thing that I was working towards. And when I would work on these things, I would in part, I guess I was looking for some sense of validation, someone to actually say, nice work on that, or, to actually appreciate those things. And it just made me look back. I mean, over the last sort of few weeks, since that I have been sort of working on more things that I am passionate about, because I've basically been slowly transitioning away from this sort of business that I've been building over the last 2.5 years to work on more things that actually align with me and that I'm interested in, such as creating content like this, but also designing video games. And I realized that a lot of the time I feel like the business I was making was actually not really for me. Or at least I guess in the moment I was just doing it as something that was chasing for money because I have no passion or real interest in it at all. Frankly, I hate it. And it just made me realize how much we can often do for other people, how much we put on a show for other people. And I would look back at some old photos or old posts or perhaps even videos of myself, especially in that sort of business period. And obviously, I guess I'm still in it, but especially in the early stages, and I realized I was trying to put on such a show to present myself in a certain way, and I realized that's just not me. And that was, the horrible part of it, where I realized, that person online is not me, right? The things that he talks about, the way he acts, the way he speaks on camera or whatever, like that's not him, right? That is just some sort of persona he is putting up with. So I guess really the question I sort of just asked myself is just who is this for, right? Like, who is this for and all the sort of work that I'm putting in. And this wasn't just business, obviously, that, part of it was also training as well, right? In terms of, well, who am I actually training for? What am I what am I doing this for? Now, yeah, obviously, I think we're always going to have some aspect in mind of what other people will sort of see us as and think of us as. I think that's just sort of natural. But at the end of the day, it's like, I couldn't really think of anything worse of spending so much time, even if I was making loads of money, doing something which other people said would be good for me, or that other people said would make me feel good, but doesn't actually. And I'm in the period of my life where I think I would much rather be just dead broke, but working on things that are meaningful to me. And then maybe in the next few years, I can actually feel like I'm getting somewhere than just be working on something which I just hate, right? Because at the end of the day, like I think at the point, like I'm at the point where I'm not really in a crazy rush. I just want to work on the things that are meaningful to me. And if I can get paid for it and I can really feel like what I'm doing is meaningful, then that's great. And I mean, I've already had a few really nice comments, like on this channel in terms of the content I'm doing. And that's really been motivating. And that's something that's felt really fulfilling, far more fulfilling than the last 2.5 years I've spent on my LinkedIn lead generation business. So that just goes to show that I guess really just asking myself those questions made me realize what it is that I wanted. So I definitely ask yourself that, like those questions as well, in terms of when you look at your actions in your day to day life, what is it that you are doing, like, or just really why you're right? Why are you doing these things? Who is it for? Because if you feel like some things that you're doing is just simply because other people tell you to do it, it's not really going to help, right? It genuinely isn't. And I think for a lot of people, just asking those questions can really open up a few things. And I'm not going to necessarily tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but I think just asking yourself more questions for me has always really helped. So hopefully you found this video useful, and I'll chat soon.